We are officially 210 days into the 365 days. This is the 365 podcast. If you don't know, it's called that because I'm making a podcast episode every day for a whole year. We're almost two-thirds of the way done. So I wanted to do something a little bit more special. I wanted to do something a little bit more fun, a little bit more interesting. So I have a list here of a bunch of interesting facts, interesting things about the show that you might not have known, about the processes of the show. And I think it's very cool, very interesting stuff here today that I have for you. And I'm just going to kind of go off of certain things, like my favorite things like my favorite episodes, my not so good episodes that I've done, and kind of talking about them, promoting them a little bit more if you want to go and watch them after this episode. And also just kind of making it fun, making it good, making it lighthearted. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Welcome back to the 365 podcast. If you enjoy it, go check out some of the episodes that I mention in this video, because there are a lot of good episodes and good topics that I've covered in this show, obviously in this 210 days, that probably kind of got overlooked. So this episode can kind of give a little bit of an opportunity for those other episodes to get the recognition that they perhaps deserve, at least in my opinion. So it'll be fun. It'll be interesting. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get right into it. I make a podcast episode every single day for 365 days. You will be hated for speaking the truth.
You definitely have like an X-ray goggles on, where you can see someone's aura.
A house divided against itself shall not stand. Matthew chapter 12, verse 25.
If you want to make something of yourself, forget your political beliefs.
Because different believers experience God in different ways, different non-believers need different explanations to see God as real. Things that make you angry suck you in.
Satan's plan fails, right? And God's plan prevails.
So we'll start with the obvious categories. Most viewed episode was a video I made in the earlier stages of the show. It was episode 19. It was about politics. It was basically how politics is BS. And I think I actually swore in that episode too. So very early stages of the show, still trying to figure out things. But somehow it got over 1,000 views. Which, like this is like a full episode. It was like, 20, 25 minutes long? Something like that. So that's like the average time for episodes on this show. And it ended up getting that many views. And it's really it is the only episode of this show that has gotten that many views. Like, yes, shorts get that amount of views on average, but actually a long form episode getting that amount of views was pretty cool. But the reason why it got the views is because it was very controversial. It was very much a video where I was kind of bashing people, because I think that's still my opinion today, is that like politics is just a waste of time, and you shouldn't be wasting your time, instead trying to focus on yourself, because the whole point is they want you divided. They being the people that actually run the world, they want you divided. So you shouldn't be trying to feed into that. But I kind of was a little bit overly aggressive in that video, and that's why I don't want to kind of do that, because I kind of saw a little hint, a little sprinkle of the fact that you can get views. It's very easy to get views online if you're just controversial, you're just angry all the time. But that's not the energy I want to convey. And then, next couple videos I kind of made a point that's like, okay, it got views, but there was a lot of hate, a lot of debates in the comment section, a lot of insulting each other in the comment sections, and I don't want to be the type of guy facilitating that. So as much as it got views, and as much as if I just kept on that path, like I probably would have consistently gotten views, maybe around those numbers, just being overly controversial like that. It just doesn't fulfill me. It doesn't serve the kingdom of God, and it really just like it's just the quick dopamine, right? It's like it's not going to be anything that translates to anything that is long term. It doesn't have any longevity. Being angry, giving political opinions, it's not a long term thing. I'm trying to make this a long-term thing for my life, right? But obviously, the show's probably not going to get that many views. It's okay. I understand that it's probably not going to work out. I'm going to get to the 365 days, and it's not gonna blow up, obviously. But I know it would be easy to blow it up if I was just angry, hating in the same way that I was in that video. But I very quickly realized, no, that's actually not what I want. That's not my legacy. That's not what I want this show to kind of be about. So as a result, that video got good views, but I haven't really. I've gotten pretty close on a couple occasions, but I haven't really tried so incredibly hard to be angry in that way and kind of make a very provocative thumbnail and title like I kind of did in that video. So I learned a little bit. Obviously, you're kind of sacrificing views, but I would rather have my integrity and authenticity than do that. I think I still share those opinions, but I'm just not going to be talking about it as much, because there's much more better things I'd rather be talking about. But if you want to go watch it, go check it out. 1,000 views, most viewed video. And the least viewed episode was actually because of like an issue that I had. It was a video like right before I went out for my pro trial when I went to Spain, like end of January. It was episode 109. Basically, it was like me preparing for it. That whole week was just me kind of talking about my story, talking about like what I'm planning on doing, talking about many different fun stories. Like I think that was a very fun week right before the pro trial. And then on the pro trial, I kind of made an episode every day, kind of giving updates on it. But right before it, my laptop broke, right? I made a video a couple days ago talking about how it got fixed. But it finally got fixed like 3 months after it broke. And it broke right before I left. And because of that, like I had to scramble to get things done because I was going to just do my normal process, right? Record the video, upload it on my laptop, make a thumbnail, do all that. But because then I just opened it one day and it just wasn't turning on, I kind of panicked a little bit. I scrambled. So I made like a very crappy thumbnail on my phone. The title was pretty like lazy. And because I lacked like the kind of algorithm boosters, which is like a good thumbnail, a good title, keywords, tags, kind of it all relating to each other, giving your videos the best chance of getting pushed out. Because I lacked that, it just didn't get any views. It didn't get any views. It only got one view because I watched it on an alt account, just so that I could have it. But that was really the only video where that happened. Like at least like even videos that don't do well, at least they got like 2 views, and the 2 views weren't me clicking on it. Like those were like, you know, some videos were kind of that bad, unfortunately. But for this one video, is because of like this glitch that happened. I still think I actually rewatched it. Like I watched it on my alt account. It was not a bad video. Like go check it out. Like again, it was not a bad video. I was talking about some pretty interesting things in it. So again, I don't think I make that many terrible videos when I literally just don't do anything. I think I say some good stuff. It's just because the algorithms are rigged against you, and also it's just like not everyone wants to watch it. It's like different people, different audiences are like they're interested in different things, and sometimes I talk about one thing, sometimes I talk about another thing. That's why it's my show. I get to kind of do whatever I want. I do it every day. Hopefully I appeal to as many audiences as possible, but sometimes you'll get the odd video that actually like no one was really interested in the start, either because it had bad algorithm, bad SEO, like bad thumbnail, title, tags, description, whatever. Or if it literally just wasn't that good of a video, which sometimes it is the case, but I think it's more so because of the former rather than the latter. For this video that only got a view, and it was my view, it would have had 0 views otherwise, it was really because of just the chaos that happened, and I had to just scramble to get a crappy thumbnail ready. So then literally that video and then the next video had the exact same thumbnail, just with different text in the front. So that's why like it was just a bit sloppy just for those days. But then of course we move on. I go to my pro trial and we get over it, right? So the longest episode of the show was the podcast I did with River, episode 67, funnily enough. It was actually very funny that was that episode. It was just a coincidence we didn't plan it. 3 hours and 25 minutes. And that was with edits. Like we actually were recording for like closer to 4 hours. But with edits, I like spent a long time editing it. Which is part of the reason why I don't do like guests on the show that often, is because it is such a grueling process to edit. Also, because I just can't really get guests like all that much, because it's just such a grueling process. Because you're always going to go over an hour, maybe over 2 hours. For River, we just kept going. It was such an amazing conversation. Probably one of the best episodes on the show. The only problem was that we still had like the crappy green background. Like I didn't have anything really professional set up yet. We were using the crappy mics, not anything professional, and the audio was a little bit messed up as a result. But I think in terms of what we actually talked about, like the actual content of the episode, it was actually so good. Like it was such a good podcast, man. And I mention it even now, like every now and again, every few episodes I mention it, because it really was that good. It was the longest episode. It was the most like podcasty type of episode I've ever made on this show, because sometimes like I make a podcast and it's just a 20-minute video of me talking. And is it really a podcast? It is, because there's really no edits, but that was a podcast. Like definitely 3 hours, 25 minutes, the longest episode on the show to date, and it was so good. It was so good. So I really would recommend you go and watch that. And then the shortest episode was my travel day, 1 minute and 15 seconds. Episode 126. So it's a very funny, very contrasting thing. You go from 3 hours to 1 minute long episodes. Only on this show, man. Only on a show where you were uploading every day. That was literally because I literally was traveling all day. I'd finished my professional football trial, and I was coming home. I already told the story. Like I left my apartment in Spain at around 9 a.m. Spanish time. So obviously I like pretty much woke up, ate breakfast, packed, and left. I didn't have any time to record in the morning. So then I left. I could have, in theory, like done a little vlog or something, but all it is, like literally all I did was I traveled. I sat on a plane. I waited at the airport. I bought a book at the airport. I had some food at the airport, and then I just waited. And then eventually got to the point where I made it home. But I only got home. It was like 11 p.m., maybe a little bit later. So I literally just scrambled. Didn't even come into this room. Went upstairs to my room, recorded like the quickest little just reflection about it, and very quickly just got it, uploaded it, didn't even make a real thumbnail for it, and then I think the next day I talked about it even more in detail, so it ended up being a more proper real episode. But that day, just so that I can say, okay, 365, right? I make an episode every day just so I can get it out after that super long day of traveling. I just literally record a very short reflection thing, and it was a minute long. So only on this show, you get 3.5 hours, and then one other episode's a minute. So longest episode, shortest episode. Very contrasting things. I think it's very cool. My favorite episode of the show. There are a lot of actually very good episodes I made. Like very, very good episodes that I look back and I'm like, oh, that was a banger. Like that was like I did so well here. I explained this concept so well. Doesn't happen every time, but I think pretty often I actually am able to look back on it and I'm like, dude, I did well here. I did a good job. Like this is good stuff, right? But if I had to pick one, not counting like the river episode, obviously we already talked about how good it was. I would say the episode I did talking about dreams, episode number 159, and it was so good. Like I literally broke down. Like I find dreams and like when you sleep at night, why you have dreams, the significance of it, the kind of spirituality of it. Like I find it so interesting, and the fact that I was able to make like almost an hour long episode, just breaking it down in the most intellectual, complex way possible, just kind of literally going through every single perspective of dreams, and then kind of theory crafting, giving my own personal ideas of things. I really loved it. Like I loved recording it. It was such a good recording, great process. And then once it got out, I was like, okay, no, this is good. I did really well. And I think that's probably one of my favorite episodes, just because it was a longer one. It was a very interesting concept, and it was something that I was able to actually execute in the best way possible. So I'd recommend you go watch it. And it was also because it was like a remade episode from one I made in the past. I made an older episode talking about dreams, but it was nowhere near as intricate. It was nowhere near as kind of like I didn't dive anywhere near as deep into it. Like I basically doubled the amount of time I spent talking about it in the second episode in comparison to the first. And it was just way better. Like the first episode had like a pretty crappy thumbnail and it didn't get that many views. Second episode, really, really well made. Again, didn't get that many views either, but I don't really very rarely get what I would consider quote unquote that many views on this show because, well, all of the reasons that I've kind of already outlined, like algorithms or just me not pushing myself enough, maybe me not focusing, maybe me not doing well enough in SEO, or it's just a combination of everything just not doing well. But I'd recommend you go watch it. It was so good. But I've also made so many other great videos. Like if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick that one, but there were many other videos that I look back on, I'm like, and like that was good. Like a video I made a little bit more recently as well about me going over all of the people that I met from different countries around the world, all the countries that I've shaken hands with. That was a fun video to make, and it was a fun video that I actually did, and it came out pretty well as well. A more recent video I did talking about the life of Job, who's a character in the Bible, story in the Bible, super well made video as well. Again, I think I did super well kind of breaking it down the best way possible. And there are many others. But if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick the dreams. But of course, there are some honorable mentions in there I already kind of talked about. Like the podcast I did with Michael, which was also an over 2 hour long interview thing. I think that was pretty good as well. We also talked about a lot of different things, and it was not as deep and introspective as the one with River, but it was still a super fun and I think very well made podcast as well. So those are some honorable mentions. But I would say like if I had to isolate one, it was that one that I made talking about the dreams. Episode 159. And my least favorite episode, There's no specific favorite episode. It is really the filler ones. No specific number. Even like in the last couple weeks, I've had to do at least one or two where I don't really have like a specific concept, a specific idea, a specific thing I want to talk about. So then I literally just I make a filler thing, talk about like, I don't know, the future of the show, plans for the show or something like that. Something that's going on in my life and just ranting about something I'm mad about or like literally sometimes it's just nothing. Like I'm literally not even talking about anything all that important. Like I made an episode talking about how my laptop is fixed. Like that was a filler episode. I don't really like doing that. I like it when I either preach something biblical, something about God in a good way, or I have like a deep introspective concept that I want to talk about, or just something fun. I would say this episode qualifies as just something a little bit more fun. But like the filler episodes, and there were a bunch of them, right? Like especially during like my door to door time because it was so hectic around that time. Like I was working all day. Some days I literally had to make like just like a under 10-minute episode, just really quickly, talking about like some random thing. But like I didn't really have the time to prep for it. Didn't really have the time to kind of make it good. It was just me literally just to get the episode out, just to kind of get through that day. There were a lot of episodes like that, but obviously with 210 episodes, there bound to be a bunch of episodes like that. There's no specific one that I would say was bad or good in any way, but like the point is like I don't really like that. I prefer when I actually have the time to sit down and make a very good episode for you guys and just also for myself, just so I can be kind of proud of the creative work that I'm doing, the creative expression, if you will. Sometimes it's just not that because it's just a filler episode. It's just me trying to get through it. Right when I injured my back, I had to make a couple of episodes like that. That was also not really my fault. It was really because I was in pain. Like I didn't want to sit here and talk for half an hour on those days, and I think that's understandable. But yeah, a bunch of episodes like that. If I couldn't pick a least favorite, but I would say that it happens and it is what it is. The earliest I have ever recorded an episode, I recorded at least at 5:30 in the morning. I didn't upload it that early, but I probably uploaded it around 8, 9 o'clock in the morning on that day. There were a couple days where I recorded that early. Like, so there have been many different eras of the show where I would record super early, I'd record super late because of just other things going on in my life, like what makes the most sense for that day, for that week, for that period. And there was a time where I'd be waking up at 5 in the morning only because I was trying to shift my circadian rhythm and get myself like ready to go for the pro football trial in Spain, because obviously in Spain it's a 6-hour difference from Eastern time. So it would have been very, very bad jet lag I would have been experiencing had I not done like a little bit of of planning in advance. And I did, and it actually really helped me when I got there. But on that day, like I woke up, like it's not like I woke up and did a workout. I pretty much woke up, said my prayer, and then recorded a podcast. Like I did that a couple times. So like I was recording, it was not even 6 o'clock yet in the morning. And I think that's just kind of funny. Like I think I uploaded it at like 8, 9 o'clock. I didn't upload it that early. But if we're talking like earliest I've ever recorded / earliest I've ever uploaded, it would have been for sure on those days that I was waking up early on purpose and literally just recording, and it wasn't even 6 o'clock yet, being done the episode, and no one else in my family was awake yet. And this was on like a week. I think it was on like a weekday. Like it was not even a weekend. So they would be getting up at like 7:30, right? I'm done the full episode and no one's awake. Very rarely ever happened on this show. But when it did happen, I think it's just something funny. It's like, oh yeah, it's like, you get a sneak peek in the behind the scenes that sometimes I'll record it just very much that early. And then other times, and that's the transition, is that the latest I've ever recorded an episode was probably 12 a.m. Like 12 a.m. the night of that day. Like there have definitely been some technicalities where technically I didn't upload the episode every day for 365 days because there were a few times that it went out past midnight of that day. Those were specifically during the door-to-door days, because sometimes I'd be able to wake up early enough to record, but then I wouldn't be able to do any editing. So then I'd be out all day working the job, getting home at like anywhere from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. And then at that point I would have to scramble to edit and post it. And usually, especially around that time, which was like November type of time, still earlier days of the show as well, by the way. around that time, it would literally be like getting out there past 12 o'clock. But then there were some days where I couldn't record in the morning, so then I would end up only being able to record that late, where I'd be getting home and I'd only be recording at 12, so the episode would be uploading at like 1. I think that was the latest I've ever uploaded, was like 1 a.m. before I'd go to bed. So that was a chaotic time. So technically, if you really want a technicality, I've not actually uploaded an episode every day for a whole year, but at least every waking day, because I hadn't fallen asleep, and I wasn't gonna fall asleep until the video was up. And then obviously it was uploaded, right? So then I managed to get it out, but it ended up being already into the next day. And then of course that day as well that I already talked about, where it was a minute long, of course that was also like 11:30 p.m. that I was recording, but that was for a different circumstance. With Door to Door, there were actually like quite a few videos that uploaded past midnight and that were recorded past 11 p.m. So again, different eras of the show, different times. I think already in 210 episodes, I've recorded an episode at every single time of the day. Ridiculously early, middle morning, early afternoon, later afternoon, like before dinner, and like very late evening after dinner. Like yesterday, I recorded it pretty late yesterday. And then like super late evening, like you should already be in bed, but you have to record just to get it out because you had such a chaotic day. So again, interesting. I feel like it's interesting. I feel like it's pretty funny that, oh yeah, one day you're recording before anyone gets up, and the next day you're recording, everyone's already in bed, and you should be in bed too. So I find that funny, and that's why I'm kind of talking about it. That's why I'm kind of giving you the little sneak peek of it. A bad video that got good views. There was an episode that I made on my professional football trial. Again, you can check out the playlist on my channel. Episode 123. Where I titled it. It was titled, "This is Looking Like the End." Because I thought, I was pretty much like convinced that I wasn't actually going to make the team at this point. And I made a video kind of talking about that. That video got over 150 views, which that is like decent numbers for the show. And that's like I didn't talk about anything crazy. Like, it was literally just me reflecting on the trial. But the reason why I think it got that many views is because of the fact that it was around like that time where like the Epstein files were releasing, and people were really like kind of going crazy over the situations. And I uploaded a video saying it's looking like the end. And I think that probably had some push in the algorithm, but it had nothing to do with that. And I think that's why it got views. It's unfortunate because like the videos and I'm going to talk about videos that I do put so much effort into don't get views. But just because like you title it and the algorithm just picks it up and it works out. Again, it didn't get thousands and millions of views. It got 100 views, but even, by the show standards, that's good views. So it was a video that had nothing to do with the topics of the current time. It was literally me talking about my pro trial, but it still got the views because of the fact that like it just kind of all aligned, and the algorithm thought that it was about this, but it wasn't. It was about me, not about Epstein, right? And I made videos talking about the Epstein files, and those didn't get any views. So it just happened. It's just the way the algorithm works sometimes. Like, yes, it was not a good video. Like, the trial was just me reflecting. Like, I think some of them were good videos, but like they weren't long videos, and they weren't like super well like planned videos, let's say, because it was just me reflecting on my days, right? Reflecting on the trial, helping you guys get through the experience, right? Like, giving you guys a sneak peek of that experience. I think it was still good, but like it should have never gotten over 150 views for something like that. And a good video that got bad views. I think that happens way more often, unfortunately, on this show, because it's just kind of how it is. But I think if I had to pick one, there was a sleep masterclass. I did episode 71. Sleep masterclass, where basically I like went into like this deep dive, how to get good sleep, some routines you should have, like why you get good sleep and why you don't get good sleep. It was such a I think it was one of those. It was a very well made video. I broke it down in like the best way possible, talked about things in the best way possible, and it only got like 3 views. Now I think it's on like 5 views because a couple more people watched it, but like within like the first week it only had like 2 or 3 views. Which was like pretty sad. And it's very sad. It happens unfortunately a little bit too often where I make such a good video and then I look at it and it has like 2 views. Like no one watched it. Not even like 10 views, not even 10 views, just like 2 views. Sometimes that happens, and it makes me a little bit sad, but it is also kind of what you're getting into, right? But it was such a good video. I encourage you to watch it. Like, if you're having problems with your sleep, especially, go watch it, man. Episode 71. It was such a well-made video. And then another one, similar situation, was the video I already talked about in the show when I talked about the story of Job and I broke it down. I thought I did a very good job at actually breaking it down in the best way. Again, same type of thing. Like, after a day, it only had a few views. I think now it's on 5 views. And one more was the one where I literally broke down from start to finish a Catholic Mass and why we say what we say in Mass. I did so well. It ended up being over an hour long because it was such a deep, detailed breakdown. But that also only got like 5 views. So those are a couple of examples of videos that were super well made videos, super good videos. Would encourage you to watch them. Like, I'm not going to be able to put cards for every single one of the videos I talk about. So you got to go and find a couple of them yourself if you're interested. I think I'll put it in the card. I think I'll put it in the cards, the Catholic Mass one, because I don't remember the episode number. The other ones I have the episode numbers. So go check them out, right? Go show me why I actually put this much effort into it, because again, it kind of is a little bit bad when I make a good video, and it was a good video, it was a great episode, and it only gets 5 views, 6 views. So I'd encourage you to go watch it, because I think not only are they good videos, and I think you'd enjoy it, I also would appreciate the support, if I'd be completely honest. So yeah, good videos that get bad views is more often than the reverse, but yes, I think like the Sleep Masterclass is a big one, the Catholic Mass breakdown is a big one, and the Job story is a big one. There's a few others obviously in there, but I think just for the purpose of this video, I will just mention those 3. What was my favorite thumbnail? I didn't actually make that many thumbnails that were kind of different from just the standard templates that I use. But I did make one thumbnail, episode 29, earlier stages of the show, Walk with God, where basically I took a picture of Jesus and Peter. Jesus reaching down to lift Peter out of the water when Jesus is walking on water, and if you know that story, where Peter he steps on the water, but then the storm kind of thunders and he looks away from God, and then he sinks in the water and Jesus pulls him up. And basically, like, in that thumbnail, I basically like kind of I replaced Peter and I put myself there. And I thought it was just super good, because it's like that's what you're trying to do as well. Like, it was such a great thumbnail because it's so symbolic about it all. Like, you can say whatever you want to say about me replacing Peter. Is that like a bad thing? Is that like because he's a very important person in the context of the Bible and in the context of Christianity, in general? Like, some sectors of Christianity say that he has the keys to the kingdom and that he's the first pope and whatever, right? So is it bad for me to replace him with myself? I personally don't think so, because I'm not replacing God with myself. Peter was a man just the same. And we also are in the exact same situation as Peter. Peter is very much like all of us. And that symbolism of that is like you're trying to walk with God, but you're going to sink in the water. But God is there to lift you back up. So the thumbnail was such a good illustration of that, and that's why it was so good. I wish I made other thumbnails, but you have to take extra time to do it. Sometimes in my life I just don't have that time. I wish I made more like unique thumbnails like that, but that was such a good thumbnail, and it was so fun. Even to this day, I think about it, I'm like, yeah, that was a funny little thumbnail, and it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I think the symbolism of it is more important. And the worst thumbnail, pretty much everything in the beginning of the show, because like it was very kind of sloppy template. I didn't really know what I was doing, right? Like I'd be editing the sharpness and saturation of my face too much, and it would just look distorted and bad at times. Other times, like the text is just too thin, too small, and I think it was just not good. So it took maybe like 50 episodes for me to finally start to get in the groove of making better, more clean thumbnails. And then, of course, for season 2, I have a new thumbnail template, which I think is even more clean, even more advanced, even better. And I think I've made much better thumbnails in recent times. But I mean, even still in recent times, sometimes my face gets messed up because of the camera sometimes, and I just mess up the edit sometimes. But back then, it was definitely way worse. I look back on them and like, okay, I don't know how this video got like even the video talking about the politics that got 1,000 views. It was like the thumbnail sucked. Like, it was not good. Like, I put Trump in the thumbnail, and that was probably part of the reason. Again, being provocative was also the reason. But the thumbnail sucked, and the thumbnail was like not very well made, not very professional at all. So in recent times, I've done better at that. But really, like what my least favorite thumbnail was basically like every thumbnail in the beginning stages of the show, and then it slowly got better. Slowly got better. I made one change originally, and then I eventually, once I started season 2, we kind of we made the intro, which you saw in this video. We made the intro to the show, the new intro, and new thumbnail templates to make it just cleaner and better. And I think it is at this point. So I think that's all I got for today. Those were all of the interesting things about the show, interesting stats about the show that I find interesting, and I hope you found interesting as well. You could get a little bit of sneak peeks into the way I actually do episodes, what I think personally about episodes that I've made, and I hope you go and watch some of them. Once you're done this one, go check out any one of them. Like, you can check in the cards, or just look at them. Look at the episodes. Like my best recommendations would be go watch that River podcast, episode 67. Go watch that video about the dreams, episode 159. Go watch the Sleep Masterclass, episode 71, and the Walk with God, episode 29. Those were many great episodes. Obviously, it's not the same quality because, of course, like at times I've improved the background. Right, I had the green screen. I changed my microphone. So there's different kind of situations in the show. Before I end it, I'll say one more thing that I don't even have it written down, but I've just kind of thought of it. What was my favorite background? My favorite era of the show, let's say. So I've had different backgrounds. Like, probably for the longest time, it was like the very ugly green wall with the Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar poster on one side and the Portugal team poster on the other side. That was pretty much the background for the show for the vast majority of it. And it wasn't good. Not because of the posters, but because it's just the ugly green background. And then for a period in the show, I had the green screen, and that was good. Like, when it was executed, it was great. It looked really good. But half the time, if not more than half the time, my face would be cut off in some way, or like the camera wasn't focused enough. There'd be some sort of an issue that happened as a result of it. When it looked good, it looked great. But when any small thing happened, it ended up just not being very good, not looking very good in general. So, obviously not. I think this background, the one I currently have, is definitely the best, most professional background that I've had on the show. And I think the worst is definitely like the green wall, and it's just ugly. So it took me too long to kind of get these sound panels up, and I think I'm gonna maybe I'll add more to it, but you'll see in the weeks and months to come. But I think that's what I'd say. This is definitely the best. The worst is for sure the green wall, and the green screen was kind of a little bit in between. So now that I've talked about that part, I think that's all I got actually for now. So I hope it was interesting to kind of see some sneak peeks of the show, how things work, what my opinions are of things, of episodes, of how it's gone. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope it was fun. I hope it was interesting. I hope it was entertaining. And that's kind of the goal. That was the goal for this episode. I hope I did it in the best way possible. So I always try my best to do that. And I hope that you continue to show your support on the show. I appreciate you for being here, for watching, for supporting. If you go watch some of the other episodes that I've talked about in this show, I really would appreciate you if you went and did that. But that's all I got for today. I really do thank you for being here. As always, show your support in any way that you can. Like the video, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify. I've talked a little bit in this episode about how sometimes I get messed up by the algorithm, and when I'm talking about like views, the only way that we can kind of beat the algorithm and actually start to maybe get this show to certain heights, just a little bit more growth, is because of you. It's only going to be facilitated by you guys and your support and the way you interact with the video. So I really encourage you and invite you, and I'd appreciate if you were to go and show your support in any way that you can. Leave a like, a comment, really talking about anything, subscribing, telling your friends, watching the other videos, following on Spotify, whatever you can do. One or multiple of those things would really help me out. But that's all I got to say for today. I appreciate you for being here. I hope it's entertaining. I hope this show has helped you or said something, spoke to you in some way in any one of these first 210 episodes. There are many more episodes to come in the future. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for what is to come. And I will see you tomorrow for the next episode of the 365 podcast.